Hello, welcome to our channel. Hi,
Good
Lauren.
morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Doing well. I'm excited
Good.
about today.
Yes, I'm going to take off my glasses. Today we're going to be interviewing Lauren. She is a parent who has several children of her own biologically, and then she also has done foster care, and she has also adopted children. We're going to be asking her some questions. I know a lot of viewers are just curious about, what's that, what that is like. Lauren, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, can you tell us about your family?
Okay, so we have 8 children. We have two adopted daughters, and then we have 6 biological children, one boy. Our oldest is 28, our son, and then our daughters are age 27, 25, 22. And then there's a big age gap, 9 years. Then we have a 13-year-old and a 11-year-old, and then a 9 and 8-year-old.
All
The
right.
youngest, the youngest two are the adopted ones, and there's 9 years gap between the two up there, between the 22-year-old and the 13-year-old. And when the 22-year-old was 9 is when we started fostering. So
Okay.
all the older kids were younger, and in their most the other three were all in their teens when we started our foster parent journey. So
Okay. All right. And I absolutely love your family. I love to see just the type bonds that you guys have and how your older kids just love on these little ones. I just absolutely love to see it. So,
it's pretty special.
anyway, yes, it is. So how old were your kids again when you started fostering, not adopting, but when you started fostering?
Yeah. So our our daughters were or let's see, our so we had a 9-year-old. Actually, no, she was actually more like I think 12 when we finally started fostering, because when we signed up to start the foster parenting classes, I got ended up getting pregnant, and that was in my 40s, and we ended up having two daughters in my 40s. And so the two little ones were, oh my goodness, they were only just barely uh, th- 3 and about 1.5 when we first started fostering, and then they then about 11, and then the other three were all in their teens. Gosh, our son was probably 16, I think, when we
Hmm.
started fostering, maybe 17. So
Okay. All right. So what is the longest placement that you have had?
the longest placement that we had was 3 years. And people always ask me the question, how in the world do you do it? How are you able to say goodbye? Because it's a heart-wrenching thing. And it is a heart-wrenching thing. It's a difficult thing, but it's very interesting, because the ones that we had two placements in our home for 3 years. And that whole time I had developed a very close relationship with their grandmother, who was wanting to adopt them, but for different reasons, the state was dragging their feet on that. Um, so she and I had developed a really good relationship, and I actually was 100% supportive for her to get her babies back. And so it was a very natural process when they left. Um, it was a natural process. They were excited to go with grandma. And something that I feel is super important um, was that I really tried to verbally and emotionally support that process with the children. We had regular phone calls with grandma. We had excitement in the air. Oh, this is going to be happening, when we knew it was going to happen. Of course, I never shared until I knew absolutely that that was happening, because that can be devastating. But it
Hmm.
was like, this is good. And I trust grandma, because these kids are, they're scared. Their lives are one way and it's about to change dramatically another way. And so, I would just, really support grandma and talk very fondly of her as if she was family, which she became family to me. Um,
Absolutely.
and so I think that's super important to do that and to really speak highly of their family members that are safe,
Yes.
to the children. So they were ready when it happened, and it was an exciting time, and it was a bittersweet time because it was sad for us, but it was a natural process that took place.
Yeah. That's so good, Lauren. I know that is a question I get all the time of just the letting go. And it was what I was afraid of in the very beginning. That's why we went straight adoption for me.
Sure.
And then gradually into foster care. But that is, we as parents play such an important role on how these kids look at, if the state is saying that they need to be returned to their biological parent or their grandparent or aunt and uncle. We play such a pivotal role on how these kids view where they're going.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So just us supporting those kids, and even if they don't feel good about it, we even if we don't feel good about it, we we can kind of soften their thoughts about it, and just do a whole change in it.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Because if it's out of our hands, and if it's not what we had hoped to happen, there's another case, Sherry, one of my first cases where there were 6 children who we wanted to adopt, and we thought we were going to get to, and we just adored these children. We had them for about a year and a half, and their grandmother and grandfather stepped in and wanted to pursue adopting them, and so we had to totally change gears. And I had already developed a good relationship, thank goodness, with this family. And so I make an effort the minute that I know that they're safe family with every placement that I've had. If I know they're safe family, that they're interested in having a relationship with these children, and DHS gives me the okay, I make
Mhm.
every effort to develop a very good relationship with them over the phone, by not just the children talking to them, but I will talk to them as well.
Right.
And it really can be a huge blessing in the end, because with these 6 children, we did have to say goodbye, and that was very devastating on one hand. I mean, it was really hard. I will never forget the day that we went to the airport and had to say goodbye. But at the same time, I knew they were going to a very good home, and
Mhm.
I still am in touch with them and get to have had a relationship with them for many years. And so there's it works out. It's a hard thing to go through, but I know that they're doing fantastic and just growing into beautiful people. So
That-
I know, I know. Oh my goodness, you know who I'm talking about, and they're just the neatest kids, the neatest kids. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
um. Okay. Hold on.
That's okay.
How do you foster a sense of belonging? Oh
Okay, I'll keep talking while you grab yourself some tissue. So yeah, you know what, Sherry? I mean, I'm not happy that you're crying, but I'm glad that you're being real, because this is it's tough. And these are one of the biggest things that come up, that people say, how can you do this? How can you say goodbye? And obviously those kids I mean, I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it. They impacted everybody around us. They were so full of joy and happiness and gratitude. I've never in my life seen more grateful children.
Right.
They were amazing, and they impacted your life. They impacted my family's
Yeah.
life, my children, everybody. And it isn't an easy thing. And we truly, we were very thrilled and excited to be able to adopt them. And then when that changed, it was it took some serious you know, soul searching. And I had to be okay with it and say, okay, God, this is not your plan for us. And then just lean on him first and foremost, but also just began supporting that grandma that so wanted to give, and grandfather that so wanted to give those kids a home in their life. And they've done an amazing job. I mean, they've done an amazing job, and I know they have incredible support in their community. And so but yeah, that was a hard time to say goodbye to
Yeah.
those kids. But I
Yeah.
know I know the cool thing is that I know they're going to do amazing thing. God has big
Yeah.
plans for those kids. And
Yeah.
uh, worst, as you know, worst case I've ever seen, and that was our second placement. Worst
Yeah.
case I've ever seen. But they're doing amazing, and they're survivors and warriors, and they're going to do incredible things in their lives.
Yeah. That's
So
great. Well, thanks for talking through.
you're
It gives me some
welcome.
time to gather
Oh,
myself.
I know.
Ah. Anyway, okay, so on to the next question.
Okay.
How do you foster a sense of belonging to children coming into your home?
Well, I think that just having, okay, so preparing a beautiful space for them as best as you can with, having special toys there already, stuffies already there for them, waiting for them, a nice warm bed. These are things these kids are like, there's so many things that these kids don't take for granted that we do take for granted. You know, having a special cup for them, a color coded cup. We used to, you probably
Mhm.
did that too, but we'd have, special color coded cups, and it's like, this is yours. Um, Getting them clothes immediately, getting them some beautiful clothes, and taking them shopping, and be able to, just make them feel like they can be, presentable, and have confidence and in themselves. And then also, like, I remember some of the things that you and I both did, like when there was church camp, having them be a part of that, getting them signed up, and they get to go to
Yeah.
family camp. I'm telling you, family camp, so many times for so many years, it would come at such a perfect time where we could just, it was like a time of respite for the family to bond, and they go and
Right.
make those special memories. And it's interesting because that happened. I can't even count how many times with different kids that we had. And it was like, just right away they meet my friends, which, by the way, I have the best friends in the world. And so it's like, you and all my other ones that I won't say their name on this, but friends that are going to come and surround them. I would, if there were people that were not as kind and not as accepting of what we were doing, honestly, I wouldn't bring the kids around them. I would bring them
Mhm.
around kids, people, and families that I knew, like your family, that I knew that they would be accepted and just brought in for love and memories. And so I think that's super important, to choose your friends carefully, just like with your biological children, quite frankly.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
anyway, and then also my family members, it's like, bringing them around family members that are going to celebrate them and
Yeah.
treat them as their own, because they are their
Mhm.
own, and
Right.
then accepting no less. It's like, if people didn't do that, then we just would not be around them. So
Yeah. That's so good. Okay, so the last question is, how do you still, or do you still have a relationship with the children who have been reunited with their family?
okay, so yeah, and I ended up answering that one some earlier, but I'll just go into that a little bit more. Is if at all possible, we try to, if they are safe people. We have a much closer relationship with them. And some of the families I am very close to, they're family to me. Their children and the grandmothers and whoever it might be are forever family to me, and that's how I see it. If there's people that are maybe not quite so safe or trustworthy, then maybe we'll just use good boundaries and still allow, to have, maybe whether it's Facebook or a phone call or whatever. I mean, when you're talking about fostering, it's like it's very little is in your control, because they walk away and they don't have to ever call you again. Nobody has to ever speak of you again or to you again. Whereas with adoption, it's different. There's actually legal binding agreements that you choose between depending on the circumstances. So it can look different in every circumstance. So.
Well, you're breaking up just a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I think you're back. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're back.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I get that. I think I got the last bit in there. So just depends on, with adoption. You heard the part about adoption.
What part about the adoption?
Oh, about that with adoption, it can be legal.
Oh, the legal binding.
Yeah. So it's more in your control with adoption, whereas fostering, if the family never wants you to see them or speak to them again, they don't have to. It's in their, the ball is in their court. Whereas adoption, you get to make some of those choices, and of course, when it becomes your child, then it is, other than the legally binding agreement, it's 100% your decision, who you choose to have them be around or not. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Lauran. You made me cry. When's the last time you made me cry?
I know. Some of these kids just get into your heart, and it's like they have an impact on, and they impacted me the same way. They're just such a precious, precious group of kids. So.
Anyway, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos. And you were going to say something, Lauran, if you guys have any questions for us, put them in the comments and we will answer them. So just don't forget to do that. And we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say is
you're frozen again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there we go. You're back. Go ahead.
We could even do an episode if there's if somebody has an interest of a subject, if it's more than just a question, if you are interested in, because I know like we're planning on having Sherry's the organized one, so we'll do an episode on organization, and of course, she'll be overseeing that one because I'm not quite as organized as she is, but I can glean from her, and I know you guys will too. So if there's something that you're interested in hearing more about, please put it in the comments, and we will be reading those and do talk on whatever you're interested in hearing about.
Absolutely. So. All right. Well,
okay.
Thanks for tuning in, and
Thank
we'll
you.
see you next time.
See you next time.